Welcome to Xi'an, where China is taking to the court for the first time in this Olympic qualifying tournament against New Zealand. Joining you in commentary are Julia Montesano and expert coach Laurie Chiswick. And Laurie, wow, isn't it exciting to see the home team in action for the first time?
And isn't it great to see this stadium full of passionate fans that I have no doubt will be in full voice tonight. It's always great to play in front of a home crowd, so I'm sure China will want to show why they are ranked #2 in the world.
Of course, they go up against New Zealand, ranked 23rd in the world, so a big task for the New Zealand team. But earlier today, we saw France get the job done over Puerto Rico, 88 points to 40. And of course, now coming up, China against New Zealand. Marine Johannes was the top scorer for the French team. Taking a look at the world rankings, of course, like you mentioned, Laurie, China ranked 2nd, France ranked 7th, Puerto Rico 12th, and New Zealand 23rd. Laurie Hippolyte on the screen, getting ready to go for her team. As we see the New Zealand team, we welcome them out onto the court. And of course, Guy Malloy has had to deploy a bit of a younger team this tournament, Laurie, and it's because of a few unfortunate injuries to his team.
Oh, there were some very late unfortunate injuries to key players in Penina Davidson, Charlize Ledger-Walker, and Talia Tupaya. Davidson was in the All-Star 5 at the Asia Cup. Ledger-Walker averaged 17 points per game and 3 assists, so some really big shoes to fill. But as we know, with injury comes opportunity. And in fact, there are 4 players tonight that are making their senior debut in Hokianga, Whitaker, Robati, and Dale. So Coach Guy Malloy has a very young team to guide through this tournament.
And of course, they come up against the might of the Chinese team, who are about to come out onto their home floor for the first time. There is Guy Malloy on screen. A tough task for him, a lot of moving around of the magnets, but take a listen to this roar as the China team gets introduced for the first time on their home floor. They're coming off their first Asia Cup win in 10 years, and of course that silver medal during the World Cup. And Laurie, they would have high hopes for this tournament.
Well, it's so exciting for China and their fans because they've been progressively improving since they finished 10th at the Rio Olympics. They were 3rd at the Tokyo Olympics, 2nd at the Women's World Cup in 2022, and then, as you mentioned, 1st at the recent Asia Cup, where they defeated Japan by 2 points in a truly brilliant display of women's basketball.
They have been making a rapid rise and so much firepower coming onto the floor. As we see the 2 bigs about to get introduced, we can't wait to see Lee and Han combine, the 2 twin towers. A very tall lineup up against this inexperienced New Zealand team. But for now, we're going to hear the crowd take a little bit of a pause as Coach Zhong Wei looks on, as serious as ever, and thanks the crowd for the round of applause. But let's now pause to take a listen to the national anthems of China and New Zealand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China. 女士们、先生们，请保持肃立，奏唱中华人民。
And we hear the big roar after the national anthem. The Chinese fans in appreciation of their team's success as we see a gift exchange take place, as we will see for the whole tournament between the two teams. A great show of respect. Now the referees are gearing up for another great game here in Xi'an, and today's referees are Ariadna Chueca, Peter Praksh and Cecilia Tot. Ariadna Chueca, Spanish referee with 5 years of experience, Praksh, the Hungarian referee with 7 years of experience, and Cecilia Tot, also from Hungary, with the 5 years of experience. So another great refereeing panel to take us through what's set to be another great game here in Xi'an. We're now taking you into the New Zealand warm-up, and it's going to be a different look lineup, Laurie Chiswick, so it'll be exciting to see the likes of Dalton and Reed step up in the absence of others.
Well, as we mentioned, they are a young team, so they're going to have to rely on the few players that do have a lot of experience, and then the ones that aren't experienced. Well, anytime that opportunity comes, you just want to go out and have a go and be really active out there. So I think that's the sort of style we'll see from this New Zealand team, that, you know, they've got a great coach in Guy Malloy, and he will certainly guide this young team.
So Beck, McGoldrick, Whitaker, Reed and West are your starting five for the New Zealand national team. Here is New Zealand coach Guy Malloy on your screen. I mean, he would love to take this team to the Olympics for the first time since 2008. They have fought so hard to get to this qualifying tournament. They had a pretty good Asia Cup campaign as well. We know Davidson got the individual accolade and made that All-Star 5 team. So let's hope they can put up a good fight tonight if you're at home and you're a New Zealand fan cheering them on. But they've got a pretty tough opponent to come up against in this China team. We're going to take a look at their lineup very shortly as they get into a huddle and decide how they're going to attack this New Zealand team from the get-go. But Laurie, Han Shu is the talk of the town. I mean, she's made the All-Star 5s of the last OQT in Belgrade, the 2022 World Cup and the Asian Cup. And it's no surprise to see her in the starting five alongside Huang, Zhang, Li and Wang.
Well, as you mentioned, Han Shu is a legitimate superstar, but she's got some great players supporting her. In Li Meng, she was an All-Star 5 at the Asia Cup. Wang Suyu, she's playing very well. So, you know, again, they've got great depth, this Chinese team. They're very clinical, they're very disciplined, and they've got that interior size to complement the speed that they have.
Here is China coach Zhang Wei. Her team has won 16 of their past 18 games in the Women's Olympic qualifying tournament, with only 3 of those games ending in a single-digit margin. And a great send-off from the crowd for the Chinese team. A great crowd filling the stands here in Xi'an. And as we count down to tip-off, only a minute to go thanks to Tissot. And Laurie, it will be a difficult task for the Tall Ferns today, but how can they go about nullifying China's impact?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm sure Guy Malloy's been mulling over that for a long time. And I think it's about, yes, they're trying to take away certain things of the Chinese team, but I think it'll be more about what they do. That's the way Guy coaches, the way he focuses is on their actions, their structures, both offensively and defensively, and see how they can hold up against the might of the Chinese team.
The Chinese team go into this game full of confidence, ranked second in the world, as Laurie mentioned, a rapid rise in their recent tournaments. And the last time these two teams met, it was China winning over New Zealand 80-46 in the 2022 edition of the World Cup in Sydney. And you can hear the crowd getting their clapsticks ready in anticipation of what is set to be a thrilling contest between China and New Zealand here in Xi'an. Welcome to Xi'an in China for the second game of the Olympic qualifying tournament. It is the home team, China, taking on New Zealand in our second game of the day. And straight away, an offensive foul called. And the crowd not liking that call at all, but an early opportunity for New Zealand to strike first in this game. They'll need all the points they can get. Of course, inexperience, we know that the toll that their injuries have taken on the team, as Tedar Reed lets loose and can't convert the opening 3 of the game. But we expect her to play a big role. Has had some positive minutes for the Melbourne Boomers in the Australian League. And is set to step up, as is captain Stella Beck, inbounding from the baseline into Whitaker. And now Reed again. Dalton. McGoldrick. Whitaker looking for an option. Beck gets slapped out of her hands, and she just puts up a long 3. The shot clock ticking down, and it's great defense by China to start.
I certainly hope that New Zealand have hand signals for their offensive calls, because you certainly couldn't hear anything the way the crowd was yelling.
Here is Wang into Lee, getting things started for China. Into Zhang. Huang. Lee again into Han. Wang. Han. For the first 3 of the game! Han Shu!
What a way to start your tournament, start the scoring for your team in front of this home crowd. Don't they just love it?
Tara Reid trying to get the instant reply, finds McGoldrick in the corner. And it'll be a New Zealand ball. What a start from the 6'9", 205cm centre, Han Shu.
Just showing everybody she can do it from the outside, as we know she can do it on the inside.
And the defensive pressure again becomes too much for New Zealand, and Lee Mong is off and running into Han. It gets slapped out of her hand. That's good defense there by New Zealand. Reed into Dalton, just looking for Whitaker and finds her. Back to Dalton. McGoldrick driving hard on Lee Mong, getting her own rebound, and a good finish by Ezra McGoldrick.
That was good patience by New Zealand that time. They moved the ball around, looked at what options are there, what defense was giving them.
Wang into Han. Will she go for back-to-back 3s? Han Shu!
That is the way to start a game for your 205cm center.
Unbelievable stuff from Han Shu. 6 points. Whitaker can't respond. And a foul called. I believe it will go the way of New Zealand.
What a big start for Whitaker, Lauren Whitaker, 18 years of age, her first game as a senior New Zealand player. And there she is in front of this big crowd. What a way to get introduced to senior basketball.
Absolutely. Here she is now with ball in hand, dumps it to McGoldrick. Just comes off the foot of a Chinese player.
11 seconds left on the shot clock.
Stella Beck to inbound. Whitaker finding herself with a lot of the ball to start this game. Into Stella Beck, the ever-reliable Stella Beck, but she just moves her feet a bit too much on that occasion.
Well, Stella Beck would be the most experienced New Zealand player on the court at the moment, and they're going to have to rely on that experience to steer the young team.
And Wong is going to reliably run the point for this Chinese team. She did so well to do that in the Asia Cup. Lee Mong can't get her first 3 of the game. McGoldrick off and running. Up, gets it to Dalton. Dalton spinning and then kicking it out to Reed, and Huang sends it out of bounds.
China are doing a good job getting into the passing lanes, getting some deflections, being disruptive.
Whitaker gets it from McGoldrick. And now Tara Reid into Stella Beck. Drives hard, the captain, and can't get the finish. Zhang now using her pace to Han Shu, guarded by Whitaker. Huang Xijing has a go and gets the 3 to go. This is unbelievable from the Chinese team.
We talk about their height and their inside presence, and all they've shot is 3s.
Unbelievable start from China. What can New Zealand do to respond now? Whitaker, a great drive, and she'll get to the line for 2. A great reception from the New Zealand bench. Good to see them getting around their team. And Whitaker has been really impressive for New Zealand to start this game. Definitely deserves to get her first points on the board here.
Well, she's not backing down. She's not, she's not taking a backward step against, the might of Han Shu out there, which would be fairly daunting in itself, let alone for your first game at 18 years old.
And speaking of daunting, listen to this crowd as Whitaker gets to the charity stripe. She silences them for the time being, though, much to her relief. She's right now at Gonzaga University. Comes from Canterbury, and she was the only woman selected in the first NBA Women's Only Basketball Without Borders camp, and no surprise to see her as the MVP of that tournament as well. Han now, 6 points already for the game. Into Wang, a great crossover, kicks it out to Zhang Ru in the corner. I think the roof would have blown off if she had got that one to go. Dalton now for New Zealand. Her team down 4 points to 9. Reed driving hard against Zhang, spinning, can't score. Huang into Zhang. Li Meng. Back to Huang Xijing. Oh, and a good pick-off from Taylor Dalton. Off and running. She's only got Li Meng ahead of her, and it affects the pass. Great defense from Li Meng.
Well, it's interesting. It's really New Zealand that have been pushing the tempo so far, and New Zealand have also done a good job of slowing up the ball for China, not enabling them to get out and run, which they love to do, and we know they're so great at.
So we've seen an early sub for the New Zealand team. Whitaker off to the bench, and Tamilo in for her first minutes.
Another 18-year-old, I might add.
Very young team, and Li Wan on for the first time for China tonight. Li Meng looking for an option. Just elbowing Dalton in the face, and an offensive foul. Basket won't count. Crowd not happy about it. It's a second offensive foul already in this game.
Well, Han Shu was doing a good job of screening first, then re-screening, and we're going to see a lot of two-woman action between those two players.
Young Li Wei, the captain of China, onto the floor for the first time tonight. New Zealand also making a sub with Lauren Hippolyte. About to play her first minutes. Reed pushes the pace, gets it to Hippolyte, who wasn't quite ready for it. It allows Lee to go. Just waiting for some players to get back. And there was a foul called in the defense. Stella Beck was the one that committed it. There's been a few fouls to start off this game. See Beck just affecting Zhang's run there. Lee gets it back. Oh, beautiful pass to Han, and it rattles in.
What a great slip of the screen, Hanju, and then we see a steal here by young Li Wei.
As easy as you like from the Chinese captain into Lee. Han provides the assistance. Huang in the corner. Zhang collects the offensive rebound. It gets blocked away by McGoldrick. Good effort there. But don't the Chinese crowd get behind their team as they lead 9 points to 4. They love the offensive hustle, but good defense there from McGoldrick.
Well, with the height of the China team, New Zealand have to just be very proficient at really blocking out, digging in, finding a body just to try and secure it.
Another sub for New Zealand. Richards on for Reed. Guy Malloy looking to his bench quite early in this game.
So another offensive foul called. Players have to really adjust to how the referees are calling the game.
Now we're going to see Li Yueru enter the game for the first time. A big cheer from the home crowd. And also Luo Xinyu coming into the game for her first minutes of the night. Li Yueru played over in Turkey for Beşiktaş and for the Chicago Sky in the WNBA, in between representing her country as they vie for an Olympic spot at Paris coming up in July. McGoldrick, a positive start for her, dumps it to Tamilo. That's great basketball from the New Zealand team. See what China can do to respond. Great defense again from McGoldrick. And another foul called. So the referees have had a bit of work to do early on in this game. 3 offensive fouls, all committed by China. And as we see coming onto the floor, the youngest ever Tall Ferns, 16-year-old Palace Hokianga. What an opportunity for her, Laurie Juzik.
Wow. This would be a little bit of a pinch me moment for her, I'm sure. Got a really late call up with the injuries, but there we see her guarding Li Yuan.
Here's young Li Wei for China, pulls up from 3. And can't drain it. So 11 plays 6. 3 minutes 54 left in the first quarter. Hokianga and Richards share it around in the backcourt. Richards, a good bit of height from the New Zealand team. Hippolyte gets it swatted away from her. And Luo glides in, but just couldn't convert it. They get it back though, China. Li Yuan. Luo. Just stepped out of bounds. So you can see the turnovers of 5 apiece. Coach Zhang Wei would certainly be happy with her team start. She's been coach of the team since February 2022. Oh, and Hokianga, a nervous start for the 16-year-old. It allows Yuan Li. And Young was fouled on the way in. 2 shots coming up for Li Wei Young.
Well, I mean, of course, strategically you would press full court up when a young player like that in her first game is bringing up the ball, and New Zealand really needed to give her some help, somebody to pass it to kick ahead, or a big player to you know, sort of get in the way. But young Li Wei, great job of pressuring and coming up with the ball again.
And you can see the substitution, Hokianga coming off for a rest and Taylor Dalton getting straight back on, and Guy Malloy immediately giving her some feedback. But young Li Wei at the line for 2 free throws. She's able to convert the first one. She's appeared at the Asia Cup 3 times, has WNBA experience with the LA Sparks, but right now playing a trade with Guangdong women's team and the Women's Chinese Basketball Association. And she'd love to be playing in front of her home fans tonight. Taylor Dalton into McGoldrick for New Zealand. A good spin by Tamilo, but it gets tapped away from her. Hahn fighting hard with Dalton on the floor. And again, a foul called.
New Zealand are doing a good job of reading how China are playing them on various screens. So in that instance, it was a little slip of the screen, and Dalton really protecting the ball there with her body.
The positive for New Zealand is they can get to the free throw line. China already in the bonus with 3 minutes left. They can try and chip away at the score at the charity stripe. So Taylor Dalton here, attending St. Mary's College of California, averaging 9.2 points per game and 2 rebounds for that team in the NCAA West Coast Division. Can't convert the second free throw. Li Yuan, guarded by Hippolyte. Li Yuan, a great cut, gets her own rebound and then reverses it. Oh, not quite in. Richards into Dalton. Dalton using her pace to McGoldrick. Tamilo, the bigs working together for New Zealand. And Tamilo got fouled on the shot. 2 free throws to come for her.
Well, I have to say this young New Zealand team is not taking a backward step one little bit. So the pass into Tamilo, you know, instead of her being intimidated and passing it out, she took it right at Ali Ru.
So Tamilo at the line, 18-year-old centre. Currently with the Bendigo Spirit in the Australian League. Is able to put in one of 2 free throws. Amy West checking back into the game alongside Stella Beck and Tadar Reid. Han gets it to Young. And Beck committed the foul for New Zealand there.
Stella Beck's second foul. She's going to have to be careful because they need her on the court. They need her running the show as the general.
Zhang Ru also with 2 fouls for China. We see Li Yuan at the line. Ooh, it came in and came out. She was willing the shot to go. Gets another chance here. Average 10.5 points per game, 3 rebounds and 4.8 assists for Shandong Shiwang Basketball Club for this tournament. You can see the bird's eye view there. Beck committing the foul, her second. Young, captain on captain here. A nice pass into Luo, got her own rebound. Li Yueru was there to help, scoops it in, but can't quite convert. Richards gets it swatted away, and Yang Li Wei is off and running and gets the basket to go.
And that's the sort of style of basketball we expect from the Chinese team, to get up and in, get steals, and then race to the other end.
Beck now. West gets it off a couple of passes. A beautiful drive by Reid, just couldn't quite finish the shot. Pan into Lee. Oh, beautiful cut by Lee. That was Li Yuru, who will now head to the line for 2 free throws.
It was an equally good pass by Yang Li Wei to find her cutting teammate, and the timing of that pass, just passed it a little bit in front of her, and she was able to just scoop it up and finds herself at the line now.
So Li Yuru's been to the Asia Cup twice, in 2017 and 2021. Of course, she missed the 2023 edition, but China still managed to finish first. So it must be comforting to be able to add her back in the lineup on the brink of perhaps an Olympics if they were to qualify here in Xi'an. Able to nail the first free throw, coming off a really impressive EuroLeague season with Besiktas as well in Turkey. 18 points per game and 5.3 rebounds were her averages there. And she goes 2 from 2. Reid now for New Zealand, looking to push the pace. McGoldrick pulls up from 3-point range. And that one will head out of bounds.
And you can see New Zealand still playing extended pressure defense. Not letting China get anything easy and just walk the ball up the floor.
Yang Li Wei into Li Yuan. Still looking for an option is Lee. Finds Young, finds Luo, finds Lee. Spinning around Whitaker, getting her own rebound once again. An offensive rebounding clinic from Lee, but she just couldn't convert there. Reid pushing the pace. Can't go end to end. Li Yuru in the way, but McGoldrick there to mop up. And it rattles in.
Again, good ball movement by New Zealand.
So under a minute left now in this first term. New Zealand have really taken it up to this Chinese team. Luo, Pan, the easiest of rebounds, and is able to bank it in.
Great anticipation by Pan, just to know that that 3-point shot was going up and to be in there for the offensive rebounds. Nobody blocked her out.
McGoldrick, fantastic. Faked her defender out of the way and goes back to back. A really positive start for Ezra McGoldrick. Han into Lee. 10 seconds left now for the Chinese team to get one last score perhaps in this first term. Pan stepping back on her opponent, Li Yuru! And there is is the buzzer to sound the end of the first quarter. And it's the Chinese team who take a lead in front of their adoring fans here in Xi'an. Han Shu got it going with 8 points to start off the game. And at the end of the first quarter, it is China 22, leading New Zealand 12. So a great start from this Chinese team. They've built on the momentum of the crowd, Laura. They've used it to their advantage, but we must admit a great fight back from New Zealand as well.
Well, it almost feels like it should be a little bit closer. I know that China have missed some close-in baskets, which could be nerves or getting out and playing together, but they've certainly been impressive and have stuck to what we know they can do, and that's run the floor, move the ball on the perimeter, look inside to some good post action, and then get their own rebounds if they miss it. Just use their height to their advantage.
So here are the best plays from the first quarter, and what a start by Han Shu, showing that she can do it from all over the court. 3 from the field to start off this game. It must be so great for these fans to see her get going so early.
Well, you would expect maybe early touches for her, but she has that confidence. We know she certainly has that ability to shoot the three-point shot, so why not? It was a great start.
And the leading scorer for New Zealand, Ezra McGoldrick, she's gone 3 from 5 from the field, along with 2 assists. She's really led this fight back for the New Zealand team, alongside Victoria Tamila with the 3 points and Whitaker for 2. And then for China, their other leading scorers, Li Yuru with 4 points, Huang Xijing with 3, Han with 2, Yang Liwei with 4, and Li Yuan with 1. So everyone already getting involved for the Chinese team. It's no surprise to see them share the ball around so early, Laurie, and use up a lot of their players.
Well, they've got such depth on their team that every time you're on the court, you have to make use of your time and do what's expected of you, and they play well together. But give some credit to that New Zealand team. I like the way they've come out. They've pressed up full court. They've been not scared to drive it in against the tall timber of China, and so they've been actually quite impressive as well, regardless of the scoreline.
Tipping off the second quarter in Xi'an, it's China up by 10. Of course, you can catch all the action on the Courtside app. Head to your app store to download that one as Reed gets the scoring going for New Zealand to start this second term.
Just snuck in behind the bottom of the zone there and was able to do a little reverse layup.
Wang into Young. Li Yuru has had a positive start. Li Meng loves this range. It comes off a bit of hands, and Dalton, the smallest one there, ended up with the rebound. It's picked off. And then a whole host of bodies hit the floor. It somehow ends up with Wang, who gets it to Li, who gets it to Young. Great play by China. Excellent. Stella Beck now. Reed, can she go for back-to-back field goals? Not quite. Wang. Happy to slow things down. Lee up against Whitaker. Backing down on the young 18-year-old and then hitting the deck. Good defense there by Whitaker. Li Meng asks for some players to come towards her. Lee obliges and provides the screen and then gets the roll into Pan and lifts it in.
Great movement off the ball by Pan. She knew the attention was going to be on Li Yuru and took advantage of that. Cut to the basket.
Reed into Beck, into Whitaker. Turns around on Lee, and that's a great finish by Lauren Whitaker. Had the tall hands in her face. Was able to knock down the basket to put her team back within 10. Han into Lee. Li Meng gets the and 1 to go.
Li Meng has such strength and athleticism, and she moves dynamically. She gets to the rim, as we just saw, but she uses her strength as well out there, and you know, her size, everything, and that was a great example of it in that take to the basket.
So we're going to have our first timeout of the game here on the floor. It's China 28, leading New Zealand 16. 8 minutes left in this second term. The timeout called by New Zealand coach Guy Malloy is going to get his team in for a bit of a breather and a bit of an address. They've certainly started this term off well enough. And let's hear what he's got to say.
Your player ran behind you for the block out. You've got to do little things as well. You can't lose the single trying to go to the shooter. Identify. Two guys, pick and roll, you're the tag. You've got to get in. You're the low on the 2 side. Count the numbers. Hey, settle down. Execute what we want to do. Next play, just go into shapes. Here we go. Settle down here.
So the message from Guy Malloy there, settle down. They've had a good start. China are in the lead at the moment, but New Zealand have shown some good moments.
Well, they've been pretty aggressive, and they have to continue to pass the ball, but cut out any unforced turnovers, because we know China, anytime that there's a turnover and they can pounce on it, chances are they're going to score.
Lee Mong at the line. Where's the three-point play? New Zealand ball here from the sideline. China has shot 6 from 7 from free throw range, and New Zealand 4 from 6. So a good start from the line for both teams. Hippolytes looking to get involved in this game. Whitaker doing a great job already. Back to Hippolytes. Back to Whitaker. Shot clock down to 4 now. Whitaker has to drive. She has the might of Hahn in front of her, and she blocks the shot. Wong doesn't need Hahn, goes herself. Couldn't get the shot to go, and Hahn Shu couldn't quite keep it in. Was able to put a smile on her face. So Reed bringing the ball down for New Zealand. Looking for Beck and finds her. Who gets it from Whitaker and just loses the ball. A foul called in the midst of it.
Whitaker's doing a good job at that high post. She's the one that has to distribute the ball when it goes into her. Make the decision whether to shoot herself or take it to the basket or pass it, as we saw in that instance.
So Wu Tong Tong on for her first minutes of the night.
I'll be interested to see. We know that she's a three-point specialist. Is she going to come out on her first touch and put up a 3 like we saw earlier in the game?
And Tamilo back out there for New Zealand. McGoldrick, a lovely finish off the backboard.
That was a really explosive first step to get by Lee Mong.
Wong guarded by Hippolyte. Here is Wu. Dubs it into Wong. And there was a push involved in that sequence. And again, the quarter starts off with a few foul calls. Of course, we had 3 offensive fouls alone, all committed by the China team in the first term. But both teams being a bit aggressive in this game. Wu Tong Tong into Huang, into Han, a beautiful find and a beautiful finish.
Just a bit of miscommunication there from New Zealand and just left Han wide open under the basket.
Han into double-digit points, 10 already for the game. An ominous sign from the New Zealand team as Lee Mong gets the steal and runs away, dumps her player out of the way, and gets the finish as well.
I don't think there was any ever doubt in her mind that she looked ahead and saw Stella Beck there, that she wasn't going to attack her and go hard.
And of course that means it's Stella Beck's 3rd foul of the game. Guy Malloy would desperately want to keep his captain out there. Lee Mong at the line. It's the 1 to go. again, the Chinese team with the active hands in their front court, and Li Meng goes back to back. And we're going to have a timeout called out there on the floor, and that is due to Li Meng's dominance and China's dominance overall. They now lead 36-18. 6 minutes left here in the second term. It's Guy Malloy's second timeout of the quarter. He's going to deliver a message to his young team. He started off the quarter quite well, but China with the fight back thanks to Li Meng. And let's now go into Guy Malloy's huddle.
Now, protection always there. When beating our player, you've got to be decisive to get our feet in the paint and move off the ball. Try and open that much, or we can throw the ball a little bit. This way here, more and more. Make sure you start underneath. Get this pick. Come on.
So Li Meng has rocketed up to 8 points for the game, 3 from 5 from the field, a rebound and an assist to go with it.
I feel like it's the full court pressure of China that is also, you know, forcing, you know, New Zealand. I'm sure that's what they talked about in that timeout, because this full court pressure is troubling them, and from those turnovers, they're getting baskets, China.
And of course, all 8 of Li Meng's points in this second quarter alone. She's having a big impact on this game as China have outscored New Zealand 14-6 in this period. Let's see how they respond out of the timeout. It's in the hands of Lauren Hippolyte. Into Reed. Wants to find Hippolyte again, but instead goes to the reliable Ezra McGoldrick. Into Tamilo, spinning around hard, and another rejection from Han Xu. Here is Wang crossing over McGoldrick. Couldn't get the shot to fall though. And Hippolyte uses her pace to get up the opposite end of the floor. McGoldrick into Beck. Hippolyte driving now. Tamilo couldn't quite secure the rebound, and it allows Wu Tong Tong to run and get it to Wang Suyu, and she couldn't quite get the shot to go.
Sure, Guy Malloy was holding his breath with Stella Beck there, not wanting to get a fourth foul.
And the whistle comes into action once again. So we're going to have some subs out on the floor. Tamilo is going to head off. And also Wang for China. Li Wan coming back onto the floor to inbound from the sideline. Loving the purple hair, by the way. What a look. I love it. Wu Tong Tong into Huang, into Li. Hong Si-jing sets her feet.
China have done a good job of that play that we just saw, where they use a stagger, and sometimes there's a curl cut. That time there was a pop out, and they made a nice skip pass. So they're really looking at all their options.
So Beck off the floor. Hokianga comes back into the game. The 16-year-old making her New Zealand debut tonight here in Xi'an. McGoldrick blocked again by Han. It's a blocking party here. And Han Xu, that's her third for the game. He's causing all sorts of problems for this New Zealand team. Bang. McGoldrick gets it from Hokianga, had to be careful. Hokianga, not long to work with in the shot clock. And Han, so strong on the boards, gets it to Li and lays it in beautifully.
Just a nice little hesitation dribble, looking ahead. The expectation was that she might pass it to Li Meng. Instead, she took it herself. Nice finish at the rim.
So China on a 9-0 run. That's their 9th fast break point as well. They lead 38-18. 4 minutes left in this opening half. And it'll be a China ball. Hokianga was the one to commit the foul there. So Li Yuan, so reliable in bringing the ball down the court. Into Huang, into Wu, and now Han. Li Mong has had a fantastic second term, and she gets her 10th point of the quarter.
That's why she is the superstar that we know her, the things that she can do, the physicality that she can bring.
Hippolyte from three-point range. That one doesn't go. Speaking of three-point shooters, here's Wu Tong Tong driving on Hockey Anger for her first points of the game. Couldn't convert. Huang Xijing into Li.
Just slowing it down, getting organized a little bit now.
Han for a fourth triple of the game. Han Xu putting on an absolute clinic here in Xi'an. McGoldrick for the instant response, couldn't get it to go. And again a block. Han Xu doing it on both ends. Li Mong finishes it all off. This is unbelievable stuff from China.
Well, they're just playing like such a team. Doesn't matter who's scoring out there. Their superstars are involved.
New Zealand really feeling the pressure now. Down 45 points to 18. Hockey Anger into West. Just looking for an option. Hockey Anger got it swatted away from her. And it was a shot clock violation. So subs coming into the game for both teams. Taylor Dalton and Lauren Whitaker and Stella Beck out there for New Zealand. And then for China, Pan gets back out onto the floor. 2.5 minutes left in the opening half. China have outscored New Zealand 23 points to 6 in this second quarter so far. Li Yuan launches. Good rebound there by Whitaker. Dalton up ahead. Tries to go underneath Wu Tong Tong. Beck for the offensive rebound and the putback.
Nice follow-up by Stella Beck.
It stops a 16-0 run from the Chinese team. Pan now. Into Wu. A nice bounce pass to Pan. Zhangji!
Just basic basketball, little shot fake, get your defender in the air, finish strongly.
Reed gets Dalton in the corner, who gets Whitaker, who gets Beck from 3. McGoldrick came in hard for that rebound, but it was a little bit too hard.
I like that play of New Zealand that last time down the court where they got a ball reversal, they looked to go inside, the defense collapsed. I mean, when you have Hung Siu in the middle there, you might want to look at getting it in and then kicking it back out, or pulling up for a mid-range shot, because right now she is defending the rim with passion.
Still a minute and a half left. China inflict even more pressure on New Zealand. A great pass to Pan. Picks it back out to Li. On a beautiful drive, and Pan Zhangji is happy to finish it off for back-to-back baskets.
They're putting all their weapons on display right now, China.
McGoldrick driving hard. It comes back up to Beck. Whitaker provides the screen and then gets it back. McGoldrick from 3. Shot blocked out of her head. It's been an offensive and defensive masterclass from China. Li Yuan. Han finishes it off under the rim.
That's the luxury China have. Anybody shoots a three-point shot, you've got some great rebounders in there to finish off.
Beck finds Whitaker. Into Reed, a great drive and a nice finish by Tara Reed.
Really good use of the screen, Tara Reed there.
So the clock ticks under 20 seconds left in this opening half. China with a substantial lead now after a slim 10-point lead at the end of the first term. Han is able to put the finishing touches on, a dominant opening half for China, and a dominating opening half for her as an individual as well. It's been a clinical display from the Chinese team in front of their home fans, as we came to expect. They put the pressure on New Zealand in that second term, and at halftime the score is China 53, New Zealand 22. So China outscoring New Zealand 31 points to 10. Laurie, what do you put that down to?
Oh my goodness, well, I just think they have so many options out there. They've got players that are scoring from three-point range. The other thing I'm really impressed with is the way their guards are getting the ball to their bigs, to Han Shu. If she's not out in the perimeter shooting threes, then she's inside presenting, and they get the ball so nice and high in the air. She's got great hands, so she can get that and finish strongly.
Han Shu, the leading scorer for China, with 17 points. Mong Lee with the 12. Pan with 8. McGoldrick also with 8. Whitaker and Reid round out New Zealand scorers with 4 points apiece. See the dancers out onto the floor, bring in the noise in this already loud arena as we take a look at the best players of the second term. And I must admit, I reckon that one belonged to Li Mong. 12 points alone in that second quarter. She really provided a dominant spark for the Chinese team in that quarter.
Well, she did, and she was, you know, her energy that she brought, she ran the floor really hard on most occasions out there. And if she wasn't going in to finish, then she was drawing defenders and making really good decisions when and if to pass it to a teammate. So, yeah, she was influential. We could just see the strength and athleticism that she used on that baseline drive.
For New Zealand, we know McGoldrick has been trying hard, and she's their leading scorer. Where do you think it sort of went wrong for them? They had a really positive start, but just couldn't quite keep up in the second term.
Well, I'm not sure that it necessarily went wrong for New Zealand, in just that you have to remember a team like China, ranked second in the world, they're going to continue to put pressure on and build pressure and get better and better. Confidence breeds confidence. They were just playing so well together, sharing the ball around. I thought it was really good off-the-ball movement, as we see there. Somebody's driving, people move, they know where to shoot it. And then, of course, follow-up by a great rebounder and finisher in Han Shu. Pretty hard to defend.
We don't often see Zhang Wei get up and about, but she was very happy to see what her team produced in that second quarter. But for now, we're going to take a short break here in China. At halftime, it is the home team 53 leading New Zealand 22.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they did that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Side ball game, Perez on the run. It's blocked by Guapi. Puerto Rico ball.
Shot down the stretch there. Guapi coming up with a big time block.
So Wilson coming after the screen. Steps back. Corner, Yalvera. Huge foul. That's a 4-point break opportunity. USA's got their heads down.
Oh, look at this. Go up for the ejection.
Hill, enough time to do something with it. Kicks it into the elbow and will hit it for two.
Big time shot. And Sammy just elevates into her jump shot, fading to her left, knocking it down right at the buzzer.
some opportunity and minutes.
Serbia. Going by 4. Dillard. And meanwhile, she goes in, scores. A very difficult shot, is fouled, and has a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, they challenge you on every possession. Beck falls, and that's going to be on a highlight. Super move, got her on the back foot, pulled up, pulled the trigger.
Looks to go down the baseline again, goes the long way. That's great hands, quick hands by Manunga. Out in transition behind the back by Van Loo. Could do everything here in Tel Aviv.
I want to see that on replay because this was razzle-dazzle here. Look, Fakes goes behind the back.
Rod Lee puts the Jets on. Oh, how did she do that? Rod Lee just parted the seas.
There's your highlight. That's just a super duper move.
They try to inbound it. They get it to Dubé. Unbelievable! Unbelievable! They have taken advantage. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Let's go!
22 here in Xi'an, and the game leaders for New Zealand, McGoldrick with 8 points, Whitaker with 3 assists, and Beck with 2 rebounds. Ezra McGoldrick's been very positive for New Zealand, Laurie.
Yeah, she absolutely has, and she's been, you know, she's been taking it at the big players. She's not held back. She's not been afraid to do that. But I tell you what, she's been blocked a few times, so she might have to change her tact a little bit when she goes in hard to maybe stop, pitch it back out to one of her shooters, or pull up a little bit earlier. But I like her mentality. I like her mindset of not only hers, but really the whole New Zealand team.
They're back out on the floor warming up. A tough quarter for them in that second one. They were trailing by just 10 at the end of the first period, and then were outscored 31-10 in that second period. And we know Ezra McGoldrick's been leading that for the team. 8 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds for her. Of course, we know she plays with Bendigo in the Australian League down under. Been trying ever so hard for her team, but it is pumping in this stadium, and it's all because China have gotten themselves out to a very substantial lead at halftime. And we're going to cross to have a look at what they're doing in the warm-up soon to give you an insight into just how hard they work. Despite the lead they have, they're still trying hard in this game and trying to get the win.
And again, I think that's a sign of a really good team is when you've got a lead, that you continue to put the pressure on and play the way that you want to play. And we saw that in the previous game with France against Puerto Rico. You know, that shows respect for the team. It shows that you respect who you're playing. You don't want to just take it lightly. And that's what China did that second quarter. They just came out, and on display was their shooting, their inside presence, their passing, their ball and player movement. It was really impressive, and didn't the home fans love it?
So Han leading the way with 17 points, Li with 5 assists, and Huang with 5 rebounds. That is how it looks for the Chinese team at halftime. And didn't Han Shu get herself off to a fantastic start? She has not missed a basket this game. She is so hard to stop, and she's turning it on in front of the home fans.
Well, it's not only at the offensive end, it's at the defensive end too. She's just protecting the rim, and she's timing her blocks. She's changing shots out there.
4 blocks for her this game already, and it's only half time. It's only going to get even more ominous for the team. As you can see, 7 from 7 from the field, 4 blocks, 17 points. She was the Asia Cup MVP. Of course, she made the All-Star 5 in that tournament. She was an All-Star 5 member at the Olympic qualifying tournament in Belgrade in 2020, and of course All-Star 5 in the World Cup. She ties the FIBA blocks record, interestingly, with 5, and she's already got 4 for the game, so she could break her own record tonight.
I think that's very much in the cards, unless New Zealand totally changed their style of play. But, you know, it's hard for New Zealand. They haven't made a 3 yet. They're 0 from 9. So you go, well, if you're not shooting threes, get the ball inside and penetrate. But then when you have the blocking ability of Han Shu out there, and when she's off, it's then Li Yuriru, then it's really a difficult decision for New Zealand. But let's have a listen to Guy Malloy and what he has to say.
Back on the third side here for space. Get right up. We're going to go rub 9 on the first play. Sprint up and get up. As Stella goes to drive off to the elbow and try and get to the elbow here. Ezra or Taylor, you're going to cut through. You're going to pop, looking for that shot here. If you don't have it, you get to the corner and break your man down. Right? Now, offensively, confident, see the basket. But defensively, I want 5 minutes here, right? So let's see if we can win this 5-minute patch here. Defensively, give them 1 shot, that's all. Let's go.
There's some very clear instructions there from Guy Malloy. He wants to own the first 5 minutes of this third term, and I think that's a great mindset to have, Laurie.
Well, I think, again, at halftime, you've got to sort of put the score line away and go forward and break the next 2 quarters down, and as he's done, he wants really, really strong defense for these first 5 minutes. See if they can, obviously you're not going to keep them scoreless, but you want to minimize that pressure on the scoreboard and see if they can, you know, cut down and really focus on this third and fourth quarter.
So tipping off the third period at Xi'an, it is China leading New Zealand 53 points to 22. If you're joining us on the Courtside app, we thank you. Make sure to download it if you haven't already. Catch all the action from the Olympic qualifying tournaments here in Xi'an, also in Hungary and Belgium and Brazil, as teams all around the world vie for a ticket to Paris in July. And China get off and running. Zhang up ahead. Spinning around Whitaker and couldn't get the finish. Great defensive hustle from the 18-year-old. Reed now gets the 2 shots.
That was good. I like that decision from Reed to keep the ball in her hand and penetrate. Whilst defense was back, they weren't quite set. They weren't quite in position. Zhang Ru was riding her through, but you know, fouled her on the way. So now she gets to start off the scoring for New Zealand from the free throw line.
Well, she's averaging 8.1 points, 4.1 rebounds and 2 assists per game in the Australian League. She averaged 8.5 points and 6 rebounds at the 2023 edition of the Asia Cup. A really solid tournament for her, and she'll be hoping to take that form into this tournament as well. There's 1 from 2. So the referees have been quite busy this game. As you can see, both teams have been at the free throw line have shooted 8 free throws so far for the game. Whitaker into McGoldrick. Spinning around Lee Mong. Couldn't get the finish. Lee absolutely dominated the second quarter. Wants to bring that form in, and Lee Yuru, another rebound, and it gets slapped out of her hands by Dalton.
Good defense by New Zealand in that instance.
Good pace there by Dalton as well. Now Reed, can she go back to back? It just rattles out, unbelievable. Now Wang for China, into Pan. Lee Yuru, back out to Wang. Great collect by Lee, another rebound. This time elects to pass it back out to Wang and reward her.
That was a lot of work for that one basket. Good perseverance by China and from Wang.
McGoldrick has had the hot hand for New Zealand this game. That one just falls short. Wang into Lee Mong. 12 points for the game for Lee Mong. Gets it back from Wang. Tries to shove Dalton out of the way, and that is a classy finish.
That was just a nice move. She shoots the ball with such confidence, Lee Mong.
Stella Beck now. You know, she's in a bit of foul trouble, 3 for the game. Whitaker finds herself open. Can't drain it. Wang, a long look ahead pass to Lee Yuru, and she says, thank you very much.
How great is it? Great basketball when you can see your bigs running the floor and your guards having that vision to kick ahead, and a nice easy basket, nice easy finish.
Reed caught in 2 minds. Whitaker receives it from Beck, and Beck gets it back and gets the bucket to go.
Good movement by New Zealand.
Pard now. Gets it to Wang. Lee Mong goes one way then the other. Pan from the corner. This time Lee Yuru couldn't claim the rebound. So we see Shan Rabati into the game for the first time for New Zealand. Ezra McGoldrick will be the one to take a seat. Sian Rabati representing New Zealand at under 17 level. A 23-year-old power forward into the action. Whitaker just loses the handle momentarily. Dalton. Whitaker. Rabati tried hard in that offensive set. Good energy to start off.
Guy Malloy subbing his bench fairly frequently at this stage, trying to find a little bit of a combination.
Tamilo entering the floor on that occasion. Whitaker coming off. Lee into Wong. Crossing over on Dalton. And she'll go to the line for 2 shots. A fantastic drive.
Well, it was that little crossover, and she saw, normally she would look to pass that, but she saw the defenders just spread a little bit, was able to keep it nice and low on her dribble, and finds herself at the line now.
Wong Su averaged 9 points per game in both the 2022 World Cup and the 2023 Asia Cup. A super consistent player for this Chinese team.
I think consistent's a really great word to use for her, Julia. You know what you're going to get from her when she steps out on the floor.
Beck trying to find that option, gets Rabati. Reed, Beck, Tamilo. Oh, and it's cut off by Huang. Li Mong calling for it. Instead finds Li Yuru, who scoops it in.
That's a nice finish. She's missed a few of those earlier in the game, so it was good for her to see that she was able to, just a nice little hook shot.
3 from 11 from the field for Li Yuru this game. Up to 8 points. And here she is again in the action. Wong to Young. Bucket.
And that's the difference between experience and a younger player in Tamilo. She's got to be stronger with the ball.
Lee to Huang, has Young ahead of her, uses her, but New Zealand rushed back in numbers. Li Mong sets herself, can't knock it down. Another offensive rebound by Li Yuru, fouled. So subs from both teams coming onto the floor. Li Wan and Luo Xinyu coming onto the floor. Li Mong and Wong Suyu taking a break.
That's also Stella Beck's 4th foul.
She's staying out there for now. Just under 5 minutes left in the 3rd period. Zoe Richards was the one that came onto the floor there for New Zealand. Huang into Young. Back to Huang, sets herself and goes for it.
A really nice screen by Lee for her teammate. Found herself wide open at that 3-point line.
Huang Sujing, the leading rebounder on the floor, and gets involved from the 3-point line as well. Rabati now into Dalton. Gets swatted away, but New Zealand go from the baseline.
6 seconds on the shot clock to try and produce something.
Instead, we're going to have a timeout called out there on the floor. It's China 68 leading New Zealand 25 in this 3rd period. 4 minutes 16 left. China again continuing where they left off at halftime. They've outscored the New Zealand team 15 points to 3 in this 3rd period. And in a moment, we're going to take you inside Guy Malloy's huddle. Let's see what he has to say.
Your left hand. Okay, Taylor, you're going to come behind the ball. Roll. Feeding the pace. Over here, remember, we've got a flare pick for the 4. Look at the flare. Sorry, for Gerard. fine. Okay, now defensively, lock into what we've got to do. They don't beat us back on D-trans. In offense, I want to run ball mix and shakes back. Shakes back and mix. You're the 5. All right, here we go. Come on, girls, let's go.
So Guy Malloy with some messaging there. If you take a look at some great finishes from the Chinese team. Li Yueru happy to scoop that one in. And then Wang pushing the pace. Li up to 8 points and 9 rebounds on the verge of that double-double. And Li Yuan just goes for the circus pass to young Li Wei. And what a start for China out of the timeout.
Great vision, must have eyes on the back of her head with that pass.
We've seen some great no-look passes already tonight, even in the earlier game between Puerto Rico and France. Of course, France getting the job done there. Reed sets herself, it just rattles out. Li Yuan, no one ahead of her, so just has to slow it down. Then finds Huang Sujing Li. Couldn't bank it home. Rabati. Wanted Dalton, instead got Richards. Hippolyte now. Reed in the corner. Tries to work with Richards, but it gets cut off, and Lee with electric pace gets it to Young. What a finish!
Oh, every single mistake or turnover that New Zealand make, China just pounce on them and push the ball and get a layup.
Richards to Hippolyte. Can't get her first points of the game. Lee now calling for some movement. It's Li Yuru into Huang. Back to Li Yuan. Now Young. Off back-to-back buckets. Young Li Wei, and it gets cut off by Dalton. Wanted Rabati, instead went alone.
Great move by Dalton to continue, and she saw there was no teammates there backing her up that she could pass it to, so she elected to go on her own and was rewarded with a finish. Great finish.
It breaks a 13-0 run for the Chinese team. Leading 72-27. Li Yuan just got rid of the defense there. Hippolyte now tasked with bringing the ball down for New Zealand. Richards. Wanted Reed, who wasn't quite on the same page. Dalton now again goes and gets back-to-back buckets.
Well, we know that's the trait of Dalton. She brings energy, she's quick, she goes hard.
Li Yuan into Huang. Again, China getting it through nearly every set of hands in the offensive set. Young Li Wei. Huang collects the rebound. 10 seconds to work with here for China. Foul called.
There was absolutely nothing that Hippolyte could do when she got caught behind. She tried to get around, but Huang Sijing just did a great job of holding and maintaining that seal.
And a cheer from the crowd as Han Shu comes back onto the floor. 17 points, 7 from 7 from the field. Joins Wu Tong Tong as the Chinese subs, and Whitaker back out there for New Zealand. Lee. Reed cuts it off, and she's got no one but the bucket ahead of her. Gets it to go.
Well, that's another tick for New Zealand. You just have to take the positives anytime something comes like that, to be disruptive, to get a deflection and then a score.
Good defense there by New Zealand, but a foul called in the midst of it all. 74 plays 31. 38 seconds left in this third term. China have outscored New Zealand 21 points to 9 so far here in this third period. New Zealand now over the limit, so it'll push Wu Tong Tong to the free throw line to shoot for 2. A chance for her to get her first points of the game tonight. She misses the first one. Averaged 6.5 points at the 2022 World Cup. And there you go, she's on the scoreboard. Reed pushing the pace. Hippolyte launches from 3, and there's Hippolyte getting involved in the game.
That was a nice pull-up. It looked like she was going to pass it. Saw that her defender had just sagged off her slightly, giving her that little bit of time and space to shoot.
That's New Zealand's first 3 for the game. They're 1 from 13. Huang. Into Lee. 3 seconds left. Han again beats the buzzer just as she did at halftime. Gets her 19th points for the game.
Well, that's what you would call using the whole shot clock. That was very, very well orchestrated right down to the shot, just finishing off as the buzzer sounded for the end of that third quarter.
And a great pass from Li Yuan as well. Han just had to caress that into the basket. And it's all smiles on the Chinese faces. And Han Shu is a big reason why, up to 19 points for the game. And at the end of the third quarter, it's China 77, leading New Zealand 34. Coach Zhang Wei just sending some messages to her team. She must be pretty impressed with what they've been able to produce so far, Laurie.
Well, I think anytime you're impressed, and if you look at those shooting stats, 58%, 26 from the free throw line, but you know what? A coach is never satisfied. They always want that little bit more, and yes, she'd be happy, but she would also be imploring her team to, continue in this vein. Let's try something that they might, look at a different offensive set, maybe a different defense. Always getting better regardless of the scoreline. But certainly her players have come to play today in front of this big crowd.
Do you think there's anything that New Zealand on the opposite hand can try to get some baskets and get some momentum going in the fourth quarter?
Well, I thought they did a few good things in that quarter, and there was a couple of drives. They were a little bit more proactive in defense, up and in, trying to get some deflections and some steals and then take it down to the other end. But it's very hard when China's such a disciplined team. They move the ball really well. Their players move well. So New Zealand just have to keep being positive and try and end this game, this fourth quarter, by doing some positive things and then carrying that into their next game.
Well, all the talk's been about Han Shu there with the 19 points, but you also have Li Mong in double figures with 14 points, and Young Li Wei, my apologies, with 12 points. And the QR code on your screen is for the Courtside 1891 app. Make sure you download that to watch and keep up with all the action in the Olympic qualifying tournaments around the world. Fourth quarter here, tipping off at Xi'an. It's China leading over New Zealand by 43 points. Hippolyte, Whitaker, Richards, Reed and Dalton out there for the away team tonight. Reed for 3. Oh, and a nice offensive rebound and put back by Dalton.
That was a really good set of actions. The 3 was good, the follow-up by Whitaker, the movement off the ball by Dalton.
On court for China, Li, Wu, Pan, Luo and Han. Han with it now. Driving on Whitaker, stepping back on Whitaker as well.
You know what? There's not a lot you can do with that. You really have to clap your hands and go, great shot, Han Shu, because there was really good defense, and that's, how do you defend that?
Hippolyte for back-to-back triples. Whitaker collected the rebound. Richards for three. And Whitaker couldn't claim the boards that time. Lee Wan gets it to Wu. Guarded by Dalton. Now Pan. Wu. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Pan couldn't get it to go. Hippolyte now off and running. Richards. Reed. Back up the top to Hippolyte, who shares it with Whitaker. Reed driving and just couldn't get the score. Lee has Pan up ahead, instead stops and props.
Lee has not stopped pushing the ball all game.
This time the rebound was slapped out of Han's hands. Dalton now for New Zealand. Whitaker provides the screen. Hippolyte, Dalton, Richards, Reed. Some good passing here from New Zealand. Hippolyte sets, can't score. Wu into Luo. And Lee. Now China looking to run a play. Pan. It nearly worked out for the two bigs there.
It did. Just didn't have eye contact as it left her hand, and Han Shu just wasn't quite ready for it.
I tell you what, the bigs have been working together gloriously all game though for China. And really their whole team's full of bigs, a really tall team.
Well, you sub two great players off and two more come on, you know, they don't lose any, or they lose very, very little height.
That's right, Li Yuru and Zhang Ru back right onto the floor. McGoldrick out there for New Zealand too, and immediate impact.
That was a nice little curl cut and a nice find by Hippolyte. Some good off-the-ball movement by New Zealand in this last bit.
Lee wants the movement. Gets Li Yuru. Li Yuan. Li Yuru. Foul.
Offensive call there.
New Zealand standing tall. That's the fourth offensive foul of the game.
They've done a great job, New Zealand, in this fourth quarter. They're running a little high pick and roll to begin with, and then getting the ball moving through hands.
And a big reception for Yang Shuyu, the sister of Yang Li Wei, on for her first minutes tonight. A big superstar here in China. And Hippolyte just glides around her.
Great decision to attack somebody that hasn't been on all game. Go after them.
Li into Li Yuru. Zhang Ru. Luo steps back and nails it.
That was a nice looking shot, really confidently left her hand, quick release.
82 plays 40 now. Whitaker dumps it to Hippolyte, kicks it out to Richards. That deserved a finish. Great sequence there by New Zealand. Now Li Yuan. Into Young. Zhang. Li. Li Yuru pulls up for a long two, and that's as easy as you like.
We haven't seen her that much out in the perimeter. Mostly she's been working really hard inside, so really good to see her finishing that mid-range pull-up.
Young tried to swat it away. It fell to Dalton. Luo eventually pulls down the rebound. Young, can she get her first basket of the game? Can't bank it home. Dalton with no one ahead of her for New Zealand.
We have to keep in mind for New Zealand that, you know, Dalton that's carrying the ball or Hippolyte, they're not true point guards. It's just they've had injuries to so many of their point guards that you know, these two players have to now swing into the point guard position. So it's been a tough ask for them, and you know, certainly China have been up and in all night. So you know, they've done a relatively good job, but we just have to remember those injuries are to key players.
So Stella Beck out onto the floor alongside Tamilo. Beck has the 4 fouls next to her name. So Guy Malloy just rolling the dice with 4 minutes 44 left in this game. He needs his captain out there. She tries to find Tamilo, but instead throws it straight out of bounds.
Regardless of the scoreline, you can see both coaches standing on the sidelines, coaching their team, you know, wanting them to do certain things. It's good to see.
The crowd starting to get up and about once again as Yang Shuyu brings the ball down the floor. Li Yuru into Wang, into Zhang, back to Wang. Beck tries to bring the ball down herself. Finds McGoldrick. Back to Beck. Dumps it into Tamilo. A nice pass. And she'll go to the line.
So again, it was a good roll by Tamila. She set that screen nice and early, rolled hard, had her eyes up. Now finds herself at the foul line.
Misses the first one. The young centre. Also played for Northern Kahu in the New Zealand Basketball League as well as in the Australian League at the moment with Bendigo. Converts the seconds. Yang Shuyu into Wang. Into Zhang. Back to Wang. Yang Shuyu for her first three. Couldn't convert it. Luo Xinyu. Back up the top to Wang. A good pick off there by Richards. Luo was waiting in the corner for an eternity. Beck now. One way then the other, then to Tamilo. Again they work together, but Tamilo couldn't finish.
It's just a nice screen, a re-screen and a roll, and should have finished that.
Wang wanted Lee, eventually got the catch, and then Yang Shuyu.
The crowd are willing that ball to go in.
They are rising with every attempt from Yang Shuyu, the number 8 out there on the floor for China. And we're going to have a timeout called. It's 84 playing 41. The China team calling the timeout there, Coach Zhang Wei. And China again continuing to dominate here. Although 7 points apiece in this fall term, it's been a nice little fight back from New Zealand.
Well, it has, and that's what they'd be, you know, talking about in these timeouts, is that's a positive for them, and they want to continue that. At both ends of the court, they're doing some good things defensively, getting some hands to the ball, you know, trying to bump cutters as much as you can, but intercepting the ball, making a few passes, and then good decisions at that other end. Some of them haven't come off, but they are the right decisions. And again, when I said they were missing, you know, some point guards out there, we can't forget Penina Davidson as well, just her strength and physicality. She doesn't have the height of the Chinese team, but she certainly brought an inside presence, and you know, that is certainly missed today as well.
Absolutely. The bigs for China dominating here. Shu Han with 21 points and 6 rebounds. Li Yuru has got that double-double, 10 points and 11 rebounds. And we know Li Mong with 14 points doing some great work as well. So resuming after the timeout, 3 minutes left in this game. 84 plays 41. Richards into Beck. Deep triple from Zoe Richards. Doesn't go down. So Great look-ahead pass to Luo, who finishes it off.
I tell you what, she sprinted down the floor. As soon as that shot wasn't made, she put on the jets and was going so quick. It was great to see that she was rewarded for that effort.
Reed now tries to respond and does so successfully.
Well, you can see on that little dribble handoff, the Chinese players were probably looking to switch it, so gave her that little bit of extra space, and she took that opportunity to shoot and nail that three.
Young. Into Luo, into Lee. Bumps Richards out of the way with aggression.
Nice left-hand finish.
Beck now. Reed. Into double figures, Tadar Reed. 10 points for the game. Joining McGoldrick also on that 10 points. Beck into Richards. Can't convert the tough finish. Wang. Driving on Stella Beck. Great move.
She's so impressive, Wang Suyu. The way she leads this team, the way she just put the ball under her arm there, and really, the whole time she was driving, she was looking to see if there were any passing options as well, but then recognized that she could take it all the way to herself. So impressive, Wang Suyu.
So some subs onto the floor. Amy West, haven't seen her into the game for a while, and Li Yuan out there for China. McGoldrick tries to use West. Ends up nearly going through the hoop. The right idea there.
Well, it is the right idea, and it's just that the passes aren't fine-tuned yet, and that's what you need to work out when you're a younger, less experienced player, is playing at this pace, playing with this physicality, and being able to execute that exact move that you can do easily in training on 5-on-0 against each other. But now you're up against the second best team in the world, and the dynamics of that change.
So as you can see, China outscoring New Zealand 13 points to 10 so far in this fourth term. We know how dominant their second and third terms were, but New Zealand, a young team, just losing touch a bit with the might of China, but they'll learn from this. They get to play Puerto Rico now on Saturday, a big chance for them to respond, but they can do some damage here in the minute 34 to get some nice looks and finishes.
Well, again, they would want to just go in right now, maybe in this huddle, and say, look, we're 3 points down in this quarter. Let's see if we can still go out and win this quarter. Keep executing what you're doing. Just take a little bit more time on the finish, because that's what height and scoreboard and pressure do to you. It just speeds you up a little bit. So they just need to slow down on that final finish.
So Li Yuru confirming that double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds. She's gone 5 from 14 from the field, 2 assists and 2 steals, stuffing the stat sheet tonight. So 90 seconds left in this game. China bawling their way to a win in front of their home fans. Lee adds to her tally.
Really nice little slip of the screen. That play was probably called out of that timeout and executed perfectly.
Stella Beck into Reed, into Hippolyte. Back out to Beck. West rolling, but didn't use her. Instead, Hippolyte driving. And a nice drive. She got fouled in the end.
I think Lee Uru wasn't expecting her to do that little spin move, was coming over to maybe help, but a foul nevertheless.
So Lauren Hippolyte, 5 points, 2 rebounds and 2 assists. Make that 6 points now for the game so far. She made her debut for New Zealand in the 2021 Asia Cup. She's a leading scorer at the NBL Chic 3x3 Cup for Canterbury, back in New Zealand. Young. Trying to get around West. Still going Young Shuyu, but great defense by New Zealand. Beck now. Tries to use West and couldn't collect it.
again, completely right idea, just the pass is not quite there. And that's something that takes time to work on, is the ability to pass to tall, bigger players. And that's something that China is just so good at, because they've got these quality bigs. They've learned how to make great passes to them.
Zhang Ru for three. Reed gets the rebound to Beck. 20 seconds left. New Zealand can try and get one more basket here. Nice pass again. And McGoldrick will head to the line. And there's Li Yuan with 5 points and 10 assists. A great effort by her. So now McGoldrick at the line. 11 seconds left in this game. She's had 10 points. Gone 5 from 12 from the field, 3 rebounds and 2 assists.
So New Zealand have those 2 players in double figures compared to 4 players with double figures from China.
Li gets another rebound. Now to Li Yuan. Can China put the finishing touches on a fantastic performance? Li Yuan banks it home, and they beat the buzzer once again. The host nation get their Olympic qualifying tournament off to the perfect start in front of their beloved fans. They have now won the first game of their last 6 Olympic qualifying tournaments. And here's the finish, Li to bucket. Li Yuan says, count that.
It just sort of typifies the type of game that China have had. It's been such a team effort, lots of different scoring options inside and out, and they would be very, very happy with that result.
So at full time, the final score here in Xi'an is China 94, beating New Zealand 47. A fantastic performance by China. They use their bench well. They put the ball in everyone's hands, and they shot magnificently. We'll see the game stats. They just dominated in every area of the game.
Well, they did, and it was, I mean, that's in a way to be expected. They've got quality players. As I said, they've got really all areas covered. They've got depth, they've got speed, they've got height. And don't the fans love their team, and it's always very special to play in front of your home crowd.
So the final stats on your screen: 58 to 42 from 2-point range, 26 to 10 from 3-point range, and 83 to 64 there in the free throw column. And look at the rebound dominance from China, 32 to 13 in assists as well. And of course, New Zealand getting a few more turnovers. The top scorers for each team: Han with 21, McGoldrick with 11, Li Mong with 16, and Li as well with 14 for China. As you mentioned, the host of players in double figures, and that just speaks to the teamwork of this China team. They are firing on all cylinders and know each other so well.
Well, and that's the nice thing about a team that's got their depth and their makeup. They've got their legitimate superstars in Li Mong, Han Xiu, and some of their point guards. But it's just the way they play together, the way they move the ball, the way they run the floor. Such a combination of inside and out. It was really impressive.
Absolutely, it was. And up next, they face France on Saturday, so a big test coming up after this game. But if they play the way they did, they're setting themselves up for a big win.
Well, I tell you what, those 2 games, the next 2 games between France and China, and equally as important is Puerto Rico and New Zealand, because as we mentioned, France are in regardless of what their score lines are. But the other 3 teams, only 2 of them make it to the ultimate prize, which is to go to the Olympics. So it's going to be very intriguing.
So in that 4th term, it was China 17 outscoring New Zealand 13, but New Zealand were able to keep China within their balance and within their reach, and they fought hard all game. We know it's a young team, we know it's a new look team, but they can take some confidence out of their performance, I think.
Well, I think, you know, you never want to lose and they'd be disappointed, but I think there are a lot of positives when they look ahead to the next team, to when they play Puerto Rico, and you know, tough ask against the number 2 ranked team, who are trying to, you know, get better and better and use their depth and all their weapons, and they did that today. And so New Zealand, yes, they'll be disappointed, but I think they can certainly take some positives.
So 2 big wins today from China and France. 2 we expect to contend for that Olympic prize when we reach Paris in July, if China is to qualify, of course, out of this tournament. But they've got off to a good start in Xi'an, and wasn't the home crowd fantastic? They really willed their team over the line, and especially that player on screen there, Li Yuru. 2 bigs working together and having a lot of fun out there too, a lot of smiles, which is great to see.
Well, there looks like a happy coach.
As happy as she gets, really, isn't it?
Yes, and you see the players having a bit of fun with the crowd, but yes, it was a very comprehensive win, and one that China will be really happy with and take forward into this game against France.
So here are the standings after night 1. France and China with the wins tonight. It leaves New Zealand and Puerto Rico 3rd and 4th. Earlier on, it was France winning over Puerto Rico by 48, and China now beating New Zealand by 47 points. A dominant display from France and China, as we mentioned. But for now, we're going to say goodbye from Xi'an, where it was China winning over New Zealand by 47.